Get rid of that there. Okay. Hey, it's Jack from Jack Gately Real Estate and the Online Real Estate Academy. I'm broadcasting to you from beautiful downtown Boston today here in the Greenway Park. And we have some news out of the western part of the country. The Northwest MLS will not join the NAR settlement, in the Bombshell Commission lawsuit out of Kansas City, the Sitzer case with Mr. Ketchmark. Ambulance. Oh, yeah, it's it's live. This is live. Let's just wait for the ambulance to go by. Fire truck or whatever it is. Fire station's actually right across the street. All right, so they are not going to join, working without a net here, they are not going to join the NAR settlement in the Kansas City Bombshell Commission lawsuit. So yes, we're going to get into the details of that in just a second. Now, yesterday on this channel, and I took a beating in the comments, and I do read your comments. As most of you know, I respond to a large number of comments. But I took a beating in the comments yesterday for suggesting that sellers might have the opportunity in the MLS to indicate or offer a non-binding offer of commission to the buyer agency, not the list agency, but the seller themselves might be able to advertise or indicate in some way that, hey, we might be willing to pay a buyer side fee. Obviously, that would be negotiable and variable and non-binding, and it would probably depend upon the offer, right? If you make a list price offer, $500,000, we might consider paying 2%. But if you make $425,000, well, I don't think I'm probably not going to pay a fee for that. It would be variable based upon the offer. Now, I got beaten up in the comments on that, but I'm going to tell you why it's relevant to the news with the Northwest. As I was literally making that video, Northwest MLS was sending out a press release saying that that is going to be basically their position going forward. So Northwest MLS, by the way, takes up Washington and a good hunk of Oregon, or is it Oregon? I don't know. So they could have settled as part of the NAR settlement for $3.5 million. They decided to do that. It was actually about the same price for the MLS PIN no-select settlement. That's about $3 million. But instead, they specifically, coming from by Real Estate News, by the way, good job, Mr. Gallagher at Real Estate News, specifically, Northwest MLS said it will clarify, I want you to listen to this, that sellers do not have to offer a specific compensation amount to the buyer agent, but they are open to such an arrangement. They can ask the buyer to include a compensation request in their offer, which would then be open to negotiation. So literally while I was making that video yesterday, Northwest MLS is sending out the press release. But it's effectively, I don't want to say it's the same proposal, but it's in the same spirit, because if you read the DOJ statement of interest in the no-select case, basically they say you can go do this if you want to. At least that's how I read it, and apparently that's how, so I'm not crazy. That's how Northwest MLS also read it. They are critical of eliminating the compensation field. So as some of you have been in the business for a long time, you might remember that there was a time, really not that long ago, 4 or 5 years ago, whatever, where the commission being offered to the buyer side agency was only available on the member side of the MLS, and it was not available publicly. Now it's available publicly. Like if you go to Zillow, you can find somewhere at the bottom of the description, buyer side fee 2% or 3% or whatever the hell it is. Under the NAR settlement, that would go away. And Northwest MLS says eliminating compensation transparencies for buyers and the settlement eliminates that transparency and restrains sellers' choice from prohibiting sellers from making offers of compensation. Again, I get to say, and again, the problem, if you're getting this confused, the problem with the whole realtor scheme was that it was an agency collecting the fee, the list agency, and then that agency sharing it with their competitor. the buy-side agency. But in a system where the seller voluntarily pays the fee and it's negotiable and the offer in the MLS is non-binding, that's a horse of a different color, which is what I was trying to describe yesterday. So, as the Northwest MLS charts its own course, to use the phrase from Mr. Gallagher at Real Estate News here, they are, in Washington, D.C., going to require buyer agency representation agreements. That's a new law that they have out there in Washington State, I should say. And remember that the Northwest MLS was, I believe, the first MLS ever to allow $0 compensation in the comp field. Remember, you could always offer as low as $1, and in 2019, Northwest MLS moved that to $0, and most of the industry followed with the $0 figure just last fall. So I got some questions, and again, I would love your comments here in the chat or elsewhere. Is this an invitation, basically, to get sued? Is Northwest MLS saying sue us because they're not settling? So are they telling Ketchmark and the other lawyers out there basically just come after us, sue us separately? Because there is an enticement. Like, if you settle as part of this big thing, as part of the Bombshell Commission lawsuit, if you settle it for $3.5 million, it doesn't seem that much money. I mean, there seems to be some significant upside to that, so you don't have to deal with this legal case anymore. But because otherwise, it seems like it's almost an invitation to get sued individually. So, I mean, that seems incredibly risky. Then you also have to worry about the Department of Justice as far as the Northwest MLS goes. So, I think, again, not a lawyer, too smart to go to law school, but it strikes me that this could be an additionally legally risky proposition for the Northwest MLS. And then I have a question about, what if you're a Realtor member, or Realtor, as I like to say it, member of the Northwest MLS? So the Northwest MLS is not Realtor owned, but a lot of their members happen to be Realtors. And if you're a Northwest MLS member and a Realtor, how do you comply with the settlement and still do business with the Northwest MLS, which has a different set of rules? That just seems like to be a complete pickle if you're a Realtor in Washington or Oregon, right? Is someone from that part of the country? Really interesting how they're going to thread that needle. And then it also wonders, if you're a non-Realtor broker from Washington and Oregon, does it allow you some type of advantage that you're not a Realtor because you're not bound by the settlement? You see what I'm saying? Like, there could be an advantage to not being a Realtor if you're from the Northwest MLS. A lot of questions there, which I think could be duplicated at some point when we finally have the decision here in the MLS pin. Most of the case, by the way, the courthouse is just a short distance away. For those of you who are not familiar with Boston, I'm on the Greenway. That's the Federal Reserve. Maybe I'll just prop up the camera right there. There we are. Give you kind of a quick glimpse of where we are. Found a nice semi-quiet place in downtown Boston to stream this video. Thank you so much for joining us today. So, I wasn't the only one who thought of, you guys bashed me in the comments, and I respect your opinion in the comments. I really, really enjoyed reading the comments, even though almost all of them were critical yesterday. But apparently I'm not the only one who thought of that, and that's what the Northwest MLS is thinking. We'll see if it stands up, and I want to thank you so much for joining us. I can't tell you how much your interest in this channel means to me. It is a beautiful day in downtown Boston. I hope it is where you are. Go make some money. We will talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day. Now, if I could only figure out how to shut the thing off, right? Last time this happened, I was like, how do you shut off the thing? Close? Let's try that. Nope. Oh, this is always an adventure, huh? Oh, God. It's so embarrassing, too. You're like, Jack doesn't know how to use his phone. Well, we did get a chat, so maybe we'll read the chat here. Last comment, Jack, can you do a video about commission offer in the real estate purchase contract, Utah? Utah makes you do broker-to-broker form. It should be negotiated between buyer and seller, in your opinion. Frugal fan. Yeah, I think you might be right. Frugal, so glad to catch you live. Thank you, YouTube broker. Great to see you from Utah. Thank you so much. I've been to Utah a couple of times, twice, I think. Really enjoyed it. Moab was awesome. Plus, actually, I've been to Utah 3 or 4 times over the course of my life. Down to the canyons, down there, Bryce, those other canyons I can't remember. But Utah is a fantastic place. If you've never been to Utah, I'm 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up on Utah. Great place to visit. All right, so if I could just find the place where it says end live stream, we'll be good. Okay, here we go. All right, see you later. Bye-bye.